Guys, welcome to this last tutorial, and this will be all for today. Okay, is a continuation of where we stopped. Okay, we stopped at the looping through arrays. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is functions, returning functions, and lastly, we're going to be talking about the objects and methods. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about for today, and let's dive into the function itself. Okay, so yeah, the function, whenever you want to create a function, you might want to use, let's create a new file. Yeah, let's call it a new file. Let's say, we can call it anything. Let's just say last, just last, okay? Whatever you want to give it, you can give it. But I just want to call it last. So here we're just going to create some functions here, okay? So we're going to create something like this. Uh, let's say, okay, let's just start working. Okay, so we're going to use the function itself. This function is a keyword in JavaScript, and it is not permitted you create a function or create a variable with the keyword called function. If not, you might have errors in the code. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to create the is a greet function. Is a function, and the name of the function is called greet. Okay, so you can actually give it whatever name you want to give it. Okay, so we set a property there, and this property we might use it later on. Okay, so let's go to log something to the screen. Let's say hello. Okay, we're going to concatenate this name property that we have set at the top there. Okay, then we concatenate the last thing. We just want to okay, sorry, I didn't add the concatenation there, so that is why you saw that error. So let's say an exclamation mark, okay? So that's what we want. So now let's use this function in our code, okay? So let's say we use the greet and we pass some uh, arguments to it, okay? So let's say agent, okay? Agent is someone's name, okay? Let's just say agent Ruben, okay? So that is the uh, argument you have passed to this greet function. Okay, so the greet function is taking a name, and we have set the value that we gave it an argument called the agent movement. Okay, so let's try to output this and see what we get. So let's go back to the terminal and just run this and hit enter. So okay, we let me check what's happened there. Okay, so basically all my comments here, every code here is out. That is, and what I did here, I went to run this old code, and this is not what I'm supposed to run. I'm supposed to run this last, okay? So I'll just clear that and put the last.js and run it. Okay, so what you saw there now, you can see it ran successfully and we got hello agent Ruben. Okay, so that is actually what we wanted to see. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about how to return statements. Okay. So let's just comment these guys out. And okay, what we'll do here, we just want to create some function again. Okay. So this function we're going to call it a square. Okay. And we set the two parentheses and give it some property like a number. And what we want to do here, we want to try to multiply this number by itself. Okay. So we can just return using the keyword return and return number times this number itself. Okay, so what we're trying to achieve here is whenever an argument is being passed to this square function, it should multiply that argument by itself. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So let's come down a bit and create a result or variable that we're gonna pass in this square, and let's give it an argument of like 6. So what it's going to do is going to multiply the 6 by itself, okay? So let's console log something to the screen. Let's just console log the result, okay? So the result is taking, like this result variable, it is taking in the result you get whenever the 6 is multiplied by itself, okay? So that is what this result variable will be holding. So here we're trying to output the content that this result variable will be holding. Okay, so that is just what we're doing there. So let's clear the screen and run the code again. So you can see it is 36. So 6 times 6 is 36. When we change the argument to 5 and run it again, you're going to get 25. Okay, you can actually use the power to do that, and maybe let's give it the argument like 5 times 5 is 25, then 25 times 5 is what you're going to get. Okay, so let's do that, and you're going to get 3, 1 to 5 like that, right? So if you use maybe like 2, so that's 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 4, 4 times 2, and that is what you're going to get, which is 8. So let's run that again. Okay, so you can see we got 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so basically, yeah, that is what you're supposed to get initially. Okay, so when you use 3, you're going to get maybe something like 9 or so. Okay, okay, 27 is okay, because 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27, right? So that is what you're supposed to get. So you can see how useful this whole thing is. Okay, so the next we're going to talk about, which will be the last thing, would be object and method. So that's what we're going to talk about. So what we're going to do is comment these guys out and go to the bottom of it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to create something, just a carb variable. And yeah, we're going to create some object. Okay, to create some object, this is the method, this is the pattern with which you create object. Okay, so yeah, we're going to set the method to ends. Okay, and also, yeah, so what we're going to do next, yeah, we omitted something here because we're supposed to assign all these objects to this car variable. And what is the keyword to assign a variable or assign values is the equal to symbol. That's what we use to assign object, assign any value to an maybe to a variable. Okay, so don't forget that. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to create some model. Okay, let's just say alphabet. Let's just use any one, just a random thing. Okay, so we're going to specify the year that it was made. So let's call this one 2024 because this one is not yet to be made, right? It's a different model that you have not even heard of. So yeah, it's an official thing. It's just it's just a joke. You can do whatever thing you want to do. You can create the object and give whatever object you want to create. So what I want to do, I want to create a start function here. Okay, that would be that would run and will specify that the car function, the car variable is working and we are actually doing the right thing. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to console log, console.log. Okay, so let's just say the engine started successfully. Just a random keyword, I just want to put there. Okay, so now let's use this our function that we just created. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're just simply going to console log something to the screen. Okay, we can just use the car dot. We want to use this car variable to access any of those objects that you're seeing there. Okay, so the first one we just access, let's try to access the year. Okay, so the year object, that's what we want to access, and let's say car dot start. Okay, so we are also trying to access this function that is the start, and since it's a function, there need to be two parentheses at its side. Okay, so let's run this and see what we get. Clear the screen and we'll run it using the node and okay, and the name of our file, which is the last.js, and let's hit enter, and you can see we got the 24 there, right? And if we actually want to access any of those objects that you see there, like the model, you can just do it like that and clear the screen and run it, and you can see we got 5 ends, and we also got this output here that sorry, I made an error here. Let's just say the engine started successfully. Okay, so let's run it again, and you can see the engine started successfully. Okay, so that is all you need to know about returning, I mean, object and method. So I'll just give one quick bonus, and the bonus will be something like an object constructor. So that's what we're going to talk about, and that will be all for today. So yeah. So what I'll do is just to comment these guys out, Yeah. So let me just uncomment everything and create a new file. Okay. So just call this one file.js. Okay, so this is an empty file, and we're going to create uh, a constructor here, an object constructor. Okay, so let's use the function keyword to do that. So let's call this function a person, and let's assign some property to it, like a name and age. Okay, so yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to use the constructor to say this. We use the this and specify the name of the property that we have specified at the top there, which is the name. So we should assign it to the name and also do the same thing for the age, which is this dot age, and we'll give it the age. Okay, so that's all we need to do. All right, so let's create another variable here. Let's call this one person one. Okay, so this person one, we're just gonna assign the function that we created here. Okay, so we use the new keyword to tell it that we're trying to create a new object. Okay, so let's say we call this one agent Ruben. Okay, it's just an argument that we're passing to this person function. Okay, so yeah, so let's say we give it maybe like an age of 30, or let's say 35. Okay, so what we want to do now, we want to try to console log something. Okay, we use the keyword console log and we say person one dot, okay, dot this name. So we want to get a name. Okay, so initially we specify that we need two arguments. We have two property here, so we are going to pass two arguments. Okay, so basically, yeah, that's what we want to do. So but this time around, we just want to check for the name because we already passed the two arguments here. So we want to check for the name. So you can actually use the name to check for that. Okay, so let's console log and see what we get there. So yeah, we're just going to use the nodes, and what's the name of the file is file.js. Yeah, so let's run it. As you can see, we got agent Robin, right? And also we can target the age also by specifying the age, and let's run it. And you see we got 35 because that's the argument that we passed. Okay, so this will be all for today, and yeah, if you have further questions, you have other things you want to talk about, maybe you're not too clear about the videos tutorials, you can actually watch it over and over again. And if that's not still clear to you, just you know to find me, share the group, and send a message right away. Don't send the DM because it might take a longer time for me to respond to that. So just send it to the group, and I will respond to it as ASAP. Okay, so I'll be off for now, and see you guys. And happy coding, and take care.